Alrighty guys, it's that time of year again. The racing season's getting ready to start. It's like March 6th or something right now. And I think first opening day is March 26th or something like that. Well, I didn't touch the truck all winter. That's why you guys haven't seen any videos or anything. I have a lot to do. The first thing we're going to do, because it's going to take the longest, is I got to get the tranny out of this thing and rebuild the tranny in it. I've never rebuilt a tranny before. I've had a power glide apart before. Those aren't super complicated. Now this is a 400. You know, it's got that extra gear, and from what I've read, it's a lot more complicated. And of course, YouTube doesn't really have much for videos on rebuilding 400s. I don't know. I guess people with 400s are real stingy. I don't know. So we're gonna see how this goes. I bought a kit from FTI. It's a four clutch kit, so it should be an upgrade. But to be honest with you, I have no idea what's in this tranny. I bought this tranny off of Facebook whenever I was building the truck. I drove 7 hours into Ohio to get it. We were like 5 miles from the Indiana border, and paid $200 for it. And guy said, well, I don't know if it's my converter or if the third gear's slipping, but I think the third gear's slipping, or it's my converter. I'm not sure. Well, you know, brought it all the way back. I had the intention of just rebuilding it right away, and you know, I got lazy and decided not to do it. And whenever I dropped the pan the first time, there's all sorts of clutch debris in there, and I went, ah, crap. It probably needs rebuilt, but you know, I don't know. I'll just try it, see what happens. It seemed to do good all year. It never really did anything wrong. It hasn't been too bad. That's what I'm getting at. But whenever I did change the training fluid somewhere in the middle of the season, and there was a lot of clutch material in there, so something in there isn't quite right. The guy had it rebuilt, made a couple passes on it, and then decided to change over to a glide. And so he was selling this tranny, and I bought it. Now he ran there's an S10 as well, but he ran in turboed LS steel, and he was making around 700-800 to the wheel. So maybe it was just his converter not being able to handle it, or maybe he was blowing through the clutches in this thing. I really don't know. So I'm going to take it out today, and then tomorrow morning I'll probably tear it all down, get it rebuilt, if I can rebuild it in a day. Probably bought the wrong parts altogether, so who really knows at this point what's actually about to happen. I'll probably take it out and take it all apart and not be able to get back together, and end up having to pay someone to redo it or buy a whole nother tranny or whatever. We'll see what happens there. I don't really know what's in it for valve body. I know it has a trans brake, but past that I have no idea what's in it for a valve body. Don't know what clutches are in it now, what bands are in it. Don't know if it's anything's upgraded or if it's all just stock stuff that's just been freshened. No idea. So I gotta rebuild the tranny, and then I bought a new dipstick, really fancy dipstick that is locking, because if you actually read down in the IHR rulebooks and NHR rulebooks, at a certain ET or speed or something like that, you're required to have a catch can and a locking dipstick, so that way you can't blow anything out of it. Don't have the catch can, don't really plan on putting one on this tranny. You know, whenever I get to that point, I'll just get another tranny probably. Just keep this one as a spare or something. So for now, this is where I'm at, and I'm going to get into it. So for me, the first part of this is going to be getting my dipstick off the firewall here. It's just 2 little bolts. If you weren't doing this with this sort of setup, you could just rip the dipstick tube out. You don't have to do any of this part, but because I'm also replacing it, it needs to come out. So I'm going to get the 2 bolts out up here, and then we'll get underneath it and take everything else out. So now we're under the truck. You can see part of the reason here as to why I want to rebuild this tranny as well. So this thing has a tranny leak that I've been fighting all year, and what's leaking is this shifter seal right here. And from what I've read online, the only way to take care of this shifter seal is by taking the whole shaft out. And to take the shaft out, you have to take the valve body out. And
if I'm taking the valve body out, I'm rebuilding the trans because I don't know if that gasket will survive or not. It's never really been that big of an issue. Basically, once I get to the track, wipe the whole tranny down, it's fine all day, and I've made 8, 9, 10 passes in a night and not had an issue. But it's super annoying. I just redid the whole floor in my trailer, and it's always leaking on the floor in my trailer. So I ended up having to put a drip pan in the trailer, and it's just a mess, pain in the ass. So this is one thing I'm really excited about with rebuilding this tranny. So the first thing we're gonna do is we're gonna get the fluid out, then we're gonna get the drive shaft off, and we'll see where I think the best plan of action is. Then probably get the torque converter out, then or unbolt it, and just go from there.
Take it real soon. You know we got what you need, baby. So take it, move along.
Alright, so it's the next day for me, probably even 20 seconds for you guys. Got everything all disconnected, my trans cross members out, my shifter cable's disconnected, my torque converter's unbolted. Just have to undo the bell housing bolts. Then drop this thing down and get it out, and start the scary part and tearing it all apart. So we'll see how that goes.
I said, babe, oh honey, come and move along. You gotta feel it, yeah, you gotta move along.
Alright, so I've got it out, I've got it up on the bench. I'm gonna start taking it apart. I don't know how far I'm gonna get tonight. I'm kind of working when I have free time and when I have motivation, and the two of those don't usually go hand to hand together anymore. I don't think I'm really gonna find much damage with anything. I think everything's in pretty good shape. Now I do know, so whenever I bought it, obviously I dropped the pan, changed the filter. Well, actually I didn't even change the filter, I just dropped the pan. There's all sorts of clutch material in the pan. So I went, alright, well, maybe that's from being rebuilt or whatever. You know, put new fluid in it, and cleaned it all up, put new fluid in it. And then I changed the oil again at some point, I don't remember when. And there's a lot of clutch material in it again. So, I don't really know what I'm going to find in here. I'm assuming a couple burnt packs. Or at least one burnt pack, and I think if anything it's going to be probably first gear. Just, I mean, it leaves good, but there's just not a whole lot of RPM drop in shifts. There's not that bad RPM drop, I guess I should say. Not what I would expect. It doesn't shift very hard. I think it's something in first, second gear, maybe, probably second gear pack. I don't really know. I don't really know what goes on in here. It's just a bunch of voodoo wizardry to me. But I'm going to learn about it. And we're gonna get into it.
Oh god. Fucking Exxon Valdez over here. Holy shit. Alright, so I don't know what you guys can actually see off of that camera. So I got trans brake solenoid off, pans off, the filter's out, tail housing's off. Yeah, it doesn't look like it's in bad shape. You know, like this tail shaft, this thing looks brand. Let me come around here. This thing looks brand new. Like this looks like a new part to me. And you can see this. With this Transtech gasket, so that kind of leads me to believe that the kid's story about having it rebuilt is true. Now looking at it, I'll show you in the pan. That's all that clutch material. Yeah, so there's definitely an issue going on in there. Now looking at it, looking at the filter, I didn't really see any glitter in there, but in the filter, if you look just a little bit, there's 1 or 2 little sprinkles of glitter. I'm not super concerned about it, to be honest with you. It doesn't seem, you know, life-threatening to it. I mean, we'll see once we get in there what everything really looks like. But so far, this hasn't, you know, nothing crazy's jumping out. Everything looks pretty good. Some delete things I'm gonna do, like I'm gonna get rid of that speedometer where it mounts in. This for the electric shift and stuff, or electric kick down. That needs to go. But this thing's actually pretty nice. I mean, look how clean it is inside here. You know, so it was definitely rebuilt. You know, I'm curious to see what it looks like once I get this pump off. But we'll just keep going and see what we can find. Alright, so I got the whole shifter assembly out. When this was coming out, it was getting stuck. Had to take a, it's kind of hard to hold everything. Had to take a file, and where the shifter on the inside locates, there's some burrs, so if just filed them burrs down, it came right out then. It's one thing you don't want to do is mess up the bore inside of here. I have all my bolts for the tranny loose, or for the trans brake loose. You know, this was the shifter
This is what actually makes it click as you move it. That was just bolted right there, so that one's out. Everything else is loose. I'm just kind of got to remember these three right here. This 1, 2, and 3 are all smaller. Got to remember that. I don't even know if I was supposed to undo those, but so I'm gonna pop this off and see what we look like. Alright, so I want to have the camera out for this part because there's check balls underneath this plate. And if they fall, I'm kind of fucked because I have no idea where they go. I don't know what kind of Yeah, you can see all the clutch material on the bottom side of this. And there's nothing that says which side needs to be which. I mean, I guess the holes only go one way. So, set that over there. Just dump the last of these bolts out of this valve body. This is a heavy ass valve body. I bet you this thing weighs every bit of 20-30 pounds. I mean, holy shit, is it heavy. Yeah, a little bit of sludginess in there too. Not really too bad though. It's mostly pretty clean. Set that back down for right now. So I'm gonna pay attention for check balls. The only one I'm seeing right now is this one. Pull it out. There's a spring behind it. I don't lose either of these. So those are my magnet. Is that my only check ball? Just gonna use the magnet here and just look for any check balls I can't see maybe. No, I don't, it's only one check ball and it goes right here with a spring underneath it. Oh, okay. Well, that's not so scary. Nothing in the, in there. Except for a bunch of clutch material. Alright. Well, get this off next. Take a look in it and, just see what it looks like. I mean, everything I've seen so far looks good. You know, all this looks pretty clean. It's telling me, like, just like that seal on the back here, this has probably been rebuilt. It's probably gone through a cleaning tank, which I would love to do. And I can see the new gasket right here too. You know, my parking lever looks like it's in good shape from what I can see of the rear drum here. If I can turn it, no. It looks like it's in good shape. Doesn't have a bunch of marks on it or nothing. So it's all good. Now I'm just gonna leave this in here. There's no need to take it out. Yeah, this just comes over and grabs, I don't know if you guys can see in there. Whenever you put it in park, that'll come over and grab these little notches on this drum. That's what makes your park. So, let's take some more stuff off and organize a little bit, and then we'll flip it on its flat here and take the bell housing off. Well, everything looks to be in good order here. All the springs are here. All sorts of clutch material in here though. Wow. No gasket at all in here, which is interesting. I don't know if it's supposed to be like that or there's definitely a, I don't think I can see it. There's definitely a groove here for a gasket. There's no gasket in it. I don't know if that's something with this valve body or what. I don't even know what the hell valve body it is. I'm going to try and see if I can find some numbers on it and get a good look at it. See if I can find
figure out what the hell it is. All right. Now let's we'll flip it over so that way I can get all my bell housing bolts out, and then flip it back up like this so I can pry the pump out, and we'll just finally get a real look at it. Wow. This is definitely a fresh rebuild because I want to flip it over and I can pick the pump right out of it. So all the seals in the back of the pump look good. Yeah, it's definitely a shift kit spring. I remember there's a right on the back of the pump here, it's a thrush washer for this front drum. This is my forward drum here. You just grab the shaft, wiggle it out. Oh! Okay. So all my splines and everything look good here. And inside here there's clutch packs. I think I might have just spotted part of my issue here. Holy shit. Yeah, I'm not gonna touch anyone, I'm just gonna show you guys. Let's check this out. Hopefully it's not too dark in here. Let me find a light actually. Alright, so let's take a look in here. It's right behind the forward drum. So these springs, right? This is, I didn't touch a damn thing. This is exactly how it looked when I opened this up. This spring is turned sideways. All of them are bent. And I think from looking right on this one, yeah, these two are stuck together. Yeah, it looks like it's been getting beat up in there and stuff. It's probably a good thing I'm tearing this thing apart now. Looks like it's missing a couple too. So there are two here. I'm missing one, two. I'm missing two of them. Wow. So I have to figure out what the hell this thing right here even is. And see if I can get some new springs for it. I mean, that's no bueno there. Yeah, that's real bad. You see these clutch packs too aren't perfectly aligned, but that could have been from me pulling it out. It almost looks like it wasn't on that rear one. I had beat this up a little bit in here. I don't think this is really too much to worry about, but what do I really know? Let's pull this out. So the snap ring's tigged on. Yeah. Well, so we'll pull that apart and just see what that looks like. Well, that turns good. Let's reach in here and get this. Oh, you know what? I didn't take the torque bolt out. Also, there's a snap ring here I have to take out. So let me do those two things. I don't like how the snap ring's in either. Look at this. So the edge of it's right here, and all this is just this side of this drum is just unsupported. You want to put this. My understanding is you want to put this gap down in here, but You know, I would have at least centered this over here. I mean, I don't know. It seems like a bigger gap than I've seen online of people redoing these too. Huh. Well, let's tear some more shit apart and get the snap ring out and see what we're looking at. Okay, that's the first snap ring out. People complain about these, how hard they are to get out, and that wasn't bad at all. Well, I think there's supposed to be a taper on this, and I'm not seeing that. Fuck. Okay, there we go. I don't know what that's supposed to be torqued to, but it seems like a lot. That's a torque bolt. If you look in it, if I'll get it on camera or not, that's straight through. There. Now I think I can pull that final drum out. Oh, there we go. It's pulling on the wrong thing. So I need to take out some clutch packs, that's why. Let's take a look at these clutch packs while I'm here. Steel. I mean, I can still see the words on these, or at least this one. This one got some heat in it. You can see the burn marks in it. This side's good, but this side here has got some burn marks. Yeah, this plate here. Yeah, that's not. That's burn marks right there. No wave plate. Keep that all stacked the way it was. I've run out of places to put stuff. Put it on the primary shafts. Next snap ring. This one's probably gonna be a little bit harder. See, now this is how I would have done that first snap ring, where it's off in the middle here. That makes more sense to me. That looks more evenly spread. So snap that out of there and keep going. Snap ring number 2. This one does have a bevel. Does this one have a bevel? No. So the first one doesn't have a bevel. The second one has a bevel. And from what I've seen online, the way this one was in here as well was the bevel was towards me. So set that there. And I should just be able to reach in here. Yeah, there we go. You're actually going to see the gear set here. Get this set out a little better. So as you can see here, you're starting to see gears.
Here's one set of gears. All these spin really nice. It's got this plastic shim. Here's your other set of gears. I'll reach in there in a second and pull that out. Yeah, this is coming apart pretty easy. Alright, let's take this other shaft out. See if I can do it one-handed. Tail shaft, gear set. I don't know what gear set. Don't ask me. I don't know. Set this down so I can pick this up. So, ooh, there we go. Some important note on the back. This is your tail shaft right here. Pull this back, and you have a thrust washer or Torx bearing. I'm sorry, I'm getting my words messed up. You've got this Torx bearing. Sorry about that. GoPro died. Anyways, back to what I was saying. There's a Torx bearing right here. I'm gonna take it off and just check that it moves really nice. There's a bunch of little, basically needle bearings in behind this, and it's nice and smooth. There's a little bit of burn marks in it. I don't know what that's from. Might see about just getting a new one, but I mean, it is nice and smooth. No rough spots, nothing. So let's set this back on here. And if you look in here, this is your reverse band, I believe they call it. And I'm sure something's holding it in there that I forgot. Maybe not, I don't really know. Kind of winging this whole deal. Oh, there's another snap ring here. That might have something to do with it. There we go. So the thinnest snap ring goes in the very back. Does this one have a taper on it? No. Okay. Good to know. You know what? There is definitely... I'm forgetting something. I'm not sure what it is yet. So I'm gonna look around and figure out what I'm doing there. But that'll come out. And yeah. Oh, there's also, all the way in the back here, just a normal thrust washer that Torx bearing is also against. If I remember right, this sets your end play. So, but it looks, the case is in really nice shape. I don't see any cracks in it or anything. I'm gonna clean it really well. I'm not sure how I'm gonna clean it yet, but I'm gonna clean it really well, and we'll see what's up. I was just being a little too gentle. I got it out. It just sits, these little notches on it here. This is how it came out. So 2 notches on the top, 1 on the bottom. They just sit down inside of it. Let me grab my light so you can see. They sit down inside of there, and these right here, where I'm pointing the lights at. But that's an empty case now. So it's probably gonna be it for me today. I don't want to get into the clutches too much. This band's in pretty good shape. Seems like there's a lot of material left. I'll have to look it up online and see what's acceptable and what's not. But yeah, that's an empty case. It weighs nothing now. One thing I didn't do that you would usually do is pull this cover off. I forget what's supposed to be in there, but with the way this tranny was built, there's nothing in it, and I could see it when I pulled the tail shaft off. The only thing left in the case right now is my parking lever, because there's no need to remove that. There's nothing rebuildable on it. You can actually see it's been out before because it has a cotter pin instead of a nail. There's usually a factory nail in there.
It's not there, so I'm gonna take that cover off so I can clean everything and I can replace the gasket that's in here or whatever. So, got the tranny all apart, big mess on the table here, and yeah, I think that's all the further I'm gonna go for today, and that's probably all the further I'm gonna go in this video. Now, little update on everything I've got going on. Obviously, I have a big mess going on here, big project. So you guys are gonna be seeing some more videos out of me now, finally. Now that the weather's broke a little bit, finally got the S10 in the garage. I should be able to put a video a week out at a minimum, I would think. Between this, I've already got a bunch of parts for the S10, a bunch of nitpicky stuff, stupid stuff. Some stuff I want to do, some other stuff. And we got Courtney's car back. So her car's back from the chassis shop. And the cage looks phenomenal. I mean, the guy that did it did a phenomenal job. And I can't wait to show you guys. And we have a ton of parts for that car already. So there's going to be a lot of content coming towards you guys. And I hope you guys stick around for it. And if you like what I'm doing here, and like, go check out some of my other videos. Leave likes. If you subscribe, that'd be great. I'd really appreciate that. I'm over, I think, 120 subscribers now. And that's awesome. I just kind of started doing this just so I could have the memories of it, and the fact that you guys want to watch it and go on the whole journey with me. And I don't know where it'll go or what I'm really doing, but we're all kind of learning together. You know, we're all in one big community here, and yeah, it'd be awesome if you guys would subscribe. I really appreciate it. So that'll be it.